we get to talk about numbers today.
Hey Mavericks, investments. Do you just cringe when you hear the word? Maybe you're a little fearful because you're not confident in the security of your investment portfolio. Or maybe you don't have an investment portfolio. Or maybe you're not even sure what an investment portfolio is.
You're not alone. It can be particularly scary for women because sadly, most women don't believe they have a mind for numbers, which is so not true, but that's another conversation. Today's conversation is all about a little known asset that will ramp up your portfolio income without having to rely on stocks and mutual funds. But first,
I'm Cherry.
And I'm Kayla.
And we're Lady MAVS.
And we're a mother-daughter team with a global mission to help 1 million women live happier, healthier, and more financially secure so they never have to sacrifice their priorities and can live the life they love.
So this little known asset doesn't require you to have to worry about whether you picked the right financial advisor or not. You don't have to track the markets and you don't have to worry about your return on your investment. Call us crazy, but we know that once you know this little secret, a whole new world of opportunity and possibilities open up for you.
So we want to make sure we're on the same page and speaking the same language because let's face it, sometimes talking about numbers, well, it's easier sometimes to understand Dothraki. So let's start by using the basic, simple example of a savings account. So if you put X amount of money in savings, the bank will pay you Y amount of money in interest while they hold on to it for you. The interest you earn is your return on investment or your ROI.
So let's say you have $20,000 in your account earning a 3% interest rate or 3% return on investment. That means the bank is going to pay you $600 a year to hold your money for you. Hopefully you keep that money in the account and let it continue to grow. But let's just say that instead you decide to use that $600 a year for your shoe money. In this example, your asset is $20,000 and your return on investment is $600 a year.
By the way, if you have a bank that pays you 3% interest rate a year, please let us know.
What if instead you had $100,000 sitting in your account earning 3%? That's $3,000 a year in asset income. That's an awful lot of shoes. So in this case, you have $100,000 as your asset and you have $3,000 a year as your return on investment or your asset income.
Both are great. The problem is the average savings account balance in the US is $7,000 a year. And at a 3% interest rate, that's only $210 a year for shoe money. So what if there was another way to create asset income that could pay for your shoes or whatever else you desired without having to have a large amount of money in savings?
Not to discourage you from saving is good.
Comment below if the idea excites you because it sure excites us. So how much money would you like to have each month to pay for your shoes, maybe a spa day, or even a weekend getaway? What about paying for your daughter's private dance lessons or paying for the nurse your dad needs to help him recover from his illness?
So what amount of asset income would make a difference for you and your family? And what would you be able to do with that? We'd really love to know. And this all sounds great, right? But what is the little known asset that can make such a profound difference and rival any amount of savings or investments that you may have? So to answer that question, let's take another perspective. What happens when you have a recurring monthly income that consistently shows up for you? Let's say you have a side hustle that generates $500 a month in recurring income. $500 a month, 12 months a year, is $6,000 in asset income. That's a fair amount of shoe money, right? Did you know that in order to generate that same amount of asset income, you would have to have $200,000 sitting in your bank account, earning a 3% return? What if your side hustle generated $1,000 a month or $12,000 a year? At 3%, you'd have to have $400,000 invested or put aside in a savings account earning a 3% return to generate that same amount of asset income.
And what if your dream is to create a full-time side income so you never have to have another boss? How much would that take?
So glad you asked. Work this out for yourself. Take the amount of monthly income that you desire, multiply that by 12, then divide the total by the percentage or the amount of interest that you believe you can reasonably earn on your savings or portfolio account. That's how much you would have to have sitting in an asset portfolio, earning that amount of interest to generate the same amount of annual income that you want to create for yourself. Let's say your number is $5,000 a month or $60,000 a year, and that you believe you can easily expect to receive a 5% return on your investments. That would mean that you would have to have $1.2 million sitting in your investments or in your savings account, consistently earning 5% to be able to generate $60,000 a year in asset income.
I'd say most of us don't have that kind of cash stashed back. And remember, if you live off your earnings, your stash will not grow. If you take out extra funds, you will lessen your income. And your earnings amount fluctuates with your interest rate. And if you want to need more income, you have to have more money stashed in your portfolio. So for example, if you want to earn $100,000 a year in asset income, you have to have $2 million stashed away in your portfolio. So what if instead you had a side hustle that generated that kind of recurring income?
Now that $5,000 a month in income or $60,000 a year is like the equivalent of having $1.2 million in the bank earning a 5% return. And that $100,000 a year is like having a cool $2 million stashed away. What if all you desire for yourself is an extra $500 a month for your shoe and your beach money? Do you realize that with a return of 5%, you need to have $120,000 sitting in an account earning 5% a month to be able to generate that $500 a month in asset income?
And just $50 a month, which is the equivalent of $600 a year for movie nights, is the equivalent of having 20 grand in the bank earning 3% interest rate.
So if you grow your side hustle in a way that generates recurring income, you're effectively building an asset, one that generates recurring income month in and month out, and you're effectively building a legacy for your family. And because it's an asset generating recurring income, it becomes part of your asset portfolio and can even be sold as such.
So really, your little side hustle may be your biggest asset without you even realizing it. And there's an important distinction when it comes to choosing your side hustle if you really want to grow a lasting asset. And before we want to talk about that, we want to give you the chance to benefit from our free Unconventional Success Guide. These are the 4 essential rules every success-minded woman needs to know to rock your side hustle and win in the economy, so you never have to sacrifice your priorities and can live the life you love. If you head on over to www.ladymavslife.com/unconventional guide and punch the download button, we will hook you up. And regardless of your side hustle, whether you're just starting your own business or wanting to take your business to the next level, our guide will help you gain clarity and lay a strong foundation that will take you from where you are to where you want to be.
The key to creating an asset that can ramp up your portfolio is understanding the difference between a side hustle that can generate recurring income and one that requires you to continually trade your time for dollars. Delivering pizza or driving for Uber or Lyft does not generate asset income unless you stash all of your earnings in an investment portfolio. There are a lot of things that you can do to create a side hustle asset. The trick is to find something that you can blend into your life and doesn't require you to work 8 to faint every day.
And one that allows you to earn based off your own efforts as well as others, so you can actually take a real vacation and tend to your family without any guilt. We recommend you also find something that allows you to make a meaningful difference and have some fun while you're at it. Personally, we found what we believe to be the best vehicle by far. It's what allowed us to move from North Carolina to Hawaii.
So what is it? It's actually network marketing, where like-minded, like-hearted people share a common goal, support one another, and do good in the world.
Offering solutions that help solve people's problems while simultaneously creating the life they desire for themselves and their families, which means it's a win-win. And this kind of side hustle, when taken seriously, can grow into an asset that surpasses your wildest imaginings. If you want to know how we build our own personal asset in this way, please be sure to reach out to us because we'd love to help you explore your possibilities.
So each week we do a question of the week. This week our question is, if you could live anywhere in the world without time or financial constraint, where would it be?
We'd love to help you bring your dream to life. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have found value. Remember, if you want to take advantage of our free Unconventional Success Guide, head on over to www.ladymavs.com/unconventional guide and punch the download button. Also, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and our Facebook and Instagram info is in the description box below.
It is our privilege to support, inspire, and equip you to live the life you love.
Cheers. It's easier sometimes to understand Dothraki than it is numbers.
Understand what?
Dothraki. Game of Thrones. It's a language. It's the language of the savages.
Okay, I choose numbers.